Caribbean, there's an island found and set aside by nature's plan. It's so beautiful to see, really? Spice Island of the West, lovely. And in the West Indies, I say Grenada, please. Overwhelmingly glad we are to.
Welcome brothers, welcome sisters, welcome to our program On Target. And as usual, once we start this program, you have the power, you have the privilege, you have the medium to pick up the telephone and give us a call, and you could make suggestion what topic we speak about, and you could introduce you could introduce your own topic: politics, religion, socio-economic issues, spirituality, metaphysics, any topic we discuss on this program, and you have the power to interrupt it at any time and introduce a new subject matter. We are on Real FM 91.9, 91.5. We are on YouTube and Facebook. We Noise FM 94.9. Well, we encourage you to subscribe, like, share our program. If you like the program, share it. If you don't like it, still share it. Because sometimes the people that don't like it want to know what it's all about. If they don't get it, they wouldn't be able to determine it. And while we await you, this period, some of the religion go through the Lenten period, and they make sacrifices. You will see some of the flowers in the churches change. They put cactus, they put stone, they put dry wood. It's a time of examining yourself, not other people. It's time of looking at yourself and making sacrifice and giving alms. Some people don't eat certain things. The reason that they fast, so that the money they save from fasting, they make alms, they give it to the poor. It makes no sense fasting and then you keep the money for yourself. No. So if you decided not to eat meat or reduce the amount of food you eat for the day, then that money you save, you give it to the poor people. You see, when you give, it must hurt you. You must feel it. You don't give out of your excesses. You give to make other people's life better. Sometimes you could speak and make people's life better, You give them good advice. And sometimes you could live by your own examples. And people say, I look at them, they speak the truth, and they're consistent, and they always give positive views. That is important. And it's a good period of time for our women in Grenada, our women, to remember what Jesus Christ told the women when he was on Calvary, when he was going to the cross. Christ had a special message for women, He said, women of Jerusalem, there was mourning for Christ. He said, weep not for me, but for yourself and your children. Very strong, powerful advice that Christ gave to our women. We must never forget it. Obviously, we're sorry for him. Women shed tears quicker than men. Some of us don't believe. When you see a man that's busy to cry, you have to watch him good. Sometimes he's a trickster. But women cry readily. And I guess Christ was touched by the crying. But he said to them, women of Jerusalem, mourn not for me, weep not for me. Weep for yourself and your children. And perhaps it's an apt response today in Grenada to call on our women in Grenada to weep for your children, particularly your boys. I wouldn't say for yourself. Women seems to be all right. Where equality is concerned, I think Grenada leads. Where equality is concerned, for many, many years, we led in the Caribbean. When we had 3 women involved in politics, a number of the Caribbean countries didn't have 1. We had a woman governor before many Caribbean countries. Today we have, under the NNP, when the NNP was in power, half of the members of parliament were women. The Imani program, a program you hear me speak about with great regularity. I describe it as the best program instituted in Grenada in the last 100 years to address the challenges of second chance among young people. Even this Lenten period is a period for second chance. You remember the woman who was brought to Christ, to God or Jesus Christ or what, for committing adultery. They say they get her in the very act and they bring her to Christ. And she symbolized second chance. So in a society, people deserve a second chance, particularly the people without Godfather. Some children might end up in trouble, their parents get lawyers. If the lawyers in Grenada are not good, they bring lawyers from outside of the country because the parents have clout and they have money. But we must be a society that is tolerant, that is inclusive, and prepared to give our people a second chance. So I will say to the women of this country, look at your children. I believe our children is not getting a good deal in schools. And when I speak about our children, I'm speaking about the 70% of the children that cannot meet the minimum requirement. I'm not speaking about those who succeed. Them don't want to hear me. The children doing well in school, if they get a chance, they shut me up. Because they want a select few to do well in Grenada. So their children, the best jobs will be ensured. The best opportunities will be sure. But if you have a country and 70% of your children cannot meet the minimum requirement to be competitive on the job market, you're in trouble. If you have a system, a country where the government is attacking the opportunities provided to give people a second chance, you're in trouble. You know that government is hostile to the people in the lower income group. So we have to help our women to listen to the word of Christ. Weep for yourself and your children. But right now, you don't want to weep for yourself. You're doing well. Some of our women are wrong like a peeled onion. But they are not paying attention to the children. Their children is not getting the best chance. The best thing you could do for your child is for your child to get a good education. And that starts between 0 and 16 years. After 16 years, based upon the laws of your country, 16, 17, 18, your child could enter the job market. As a parent, you are not financially obligated against your child. You are not financially obligated to your child once your child passed the age of 18 or 16. And you would hear me saying it interchangeable, 16 and 18. When a child reaches 16, they have consent to have sex. That is an important factor. The girl start to have sex, she big. Parents could hardly tell her anything. She man now is the issue. 16 years. And if you have a daughter 13, 14, 15, parents supposed to start to speak to her about sexually transmitted disease. You have to be dumb twice to have your daughter. She looking good like what? She wrong like a peeled onion. She like a sapodilla ripe in the shade. She have bad food, tight clothes. Sometimes she leave half she clothes home when she going out. You have to talk to her about sexually transmitted disease. She could get pregnant. A lot of them time they get pregnant, they don't want the child. If you have sex, then it's a good chance to get pregnant. Particularly when you tip in chance of sex. You'll get pregnant. Because around that period of time, the body prepare. You're more likely to have sex that time. So parents must sit down and exchange. Women, and most time you hear me say parents, I say women. with the readiness that I say parents, I add the qualifier, women. You have to sit down with your daughter. Your daughter is 11 years. She's seeing her period. The normal physiological phenomenon. Nothing is wrong with that. That is natural. Some might see it as early as 9. But you inside the house, you see the physical changes taking place. She giving out a kind of pheromone. All dog in the area head is. Yes, caller, welcome.
Hey, Mr. Pierre, how you doing?
Great, man.
Mr. Pierre, the boogeyman. About how much? What is this man expense for the month, including his rent? It's about $100,000 a month, all right?
Hello. Who is that?
The boogeyman.
Oh, you mean a travel expense?
Yeah.
No, you can't talk about travel. The last information we have, and you know they don't give you information. So we have to take information where they get it. It's 8 million in 2 years.
Okay, I'm talking about now his lifestyle in the country, including his rent.
Well, if somebody's spending 8 million in 2 years for travel, I don't speaking about the lifestyle and rent, that's small thing.
Oh boy.
The man is a squanderer of public funds.
Mr. P.
He's the greatest political squanderer of public funds since 1967. You have a conscience. He's spending public funds like when you have a son that on coke, you're on drugs.
Mr. Pierre, this man lifestyle for a month, that money don't spend in a community for 1 year, you know.
I don't talk about a month. I tell you, the man spent over 8 million in 2 years. The man is a squanderer of public funds. The worst case, I have never heard that in my life. No political leader in the Caribbean, no political in the Caribbean have been spending public funds like that.
That's the reason why we have no medication in the hospital, man. That's expensive, brother, man. Damn. Well, all I have to say is, Mr. Pierre, he is the king. He is the king in his ghetto. So automatically, how much put it?
Yeah.
You get a chance to ride the beast to the big heads.
Yeah.
They're doing it anyway. One love about it.
Yes, sir. Well, you see, again, we have a democratic process, and our people deserve the government that they have. The Grenadian public had a government, and for the last 2 years, I thought that was the best attempt at governance in Grenada. I thought the government interacted with the press and the media readily. I thought their lives was frugal. They were humble. They live in a very accountable way. And I thought they did quite a lot. Everything within their power, I would say, to reach out to the people in the lower income group to provide opportunities. They passed legislation. They legislated discipline. And I was in full support of the government policy, the attitude, the culture. Then we, our people, selected a cat in a bag. We got a fake. We got worse than a fake. Because I don't think people ever dreamt, knowing our track record, to have a group of people with such a vulture appetite. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome. We're not hearing you.
The government traveling are not speaking.
When you call something, we always have this problem. Either the phone is not close enough to your mouth, or you listen back the small device you have. So we're not hearing you.
Okay, Mr. Pierre.
Go ahead.
Mr. Pierre, you're talking about the man traveling. The man traveling to bring wealth in this country. Mr. Pierre, there's an old saying that fools make money and wise man spend it. The gun is the one man is spending money. The gun is the man or you can
Color, I get the idea you have, but your phone always cutting off on us. You're always running high, running low. But I guess the statement you make, fools make money, but you take wise people to send it, and you think Dick means wise. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre. Mr. Pierre, the latest, did the farmer in Maribor problem solved?
No caller. Farmer problem is solved.
Are you still...
No, the farmer problem...
Water issue?
Caller, the farmer problem didn't solve it.
It's not solved. Well, then I'm calling on more farmers. My please, I am calling on more farmers and people even in the area, whether you support NNP, NEC, to stand in solidarity with that farmer. Because that could take a psychological effect on that man. It could cause a mental effect on that man, on his family. Yeah, because you're taking away that man's livelihood away from him. It is political mischief.
But Colin, maybe the government like see him as part of the classless group. This government is a bad government.
And what I'm trying to say is, you have the member of St. Andrews Northwest, and then you have the Minister for Agriculture for St. Andrews Southwest. And two of them day and watching this thing go on, and they couldn't stand on that.
Your caller, maybe they feel the man is too close to NNP. You see, when the government...
So therefore, I am calling on people now, the farmers of this nation, to continue pleading on that man's behalf. Continue bawling for that man's behalf. We cannot don't stop bawling for that man's behalf, because you're talking about a man's livelihood. He start going on. What they want the man to do, to go and thief now? Because when I think about it, Mr. Pierre, they tell you that the same administration was telling you, learn to fish instead of spoon feeding people and giving people fish. Teach them to fish. Okay, the man has been learned to fish. He's fishing for his living. Now you come and you take away the rod, the line, the hook, even the bait you've been taken away from, even the boat you take away from him. Now tell me, when you do all that to that man, what you leaving for him to do? And then what message are you sending to young agriculture people who want to go in, who want to come in agriculture, who are interested to come in agriculture? What hope you giving them? What message are you sending to them? So I am pleading unto farmers of this nation to come and stand in solidarity with that farmer and his family. Yeah? Because I find that is too much an injustice with that bread, because the man providing the nation with food, and we're talking about food security, and you're doing that, we need to stand up for that man.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Pierre.
Yeah. I honestly don't think Grenada understand yet what is restorative justice. The government introduced a policy of restorative justice. And in my opinion, this is political victimization and political vengeance. The Prime Minister been calling on his people to identify the real NDC because NNP getting too much help. Yes, caller, welcome.
I am the voice crying out in the wilderness. Senior, how do you do?
Good man, good man.
Right, Senior, I am very much concerned. The present situation in the United States of America under the Donald Trump administration as it relates to the tariff in different countries. I don't think that you hardly have a country that is not punching at the tariff. We look at the Caribbean here, and I'm very much concerned of the lack of education where our people is concerned. Lots of people just hearing the word tariff, but do not know the real meaning of it, or how it really implement, or what effect it will take on Grenada. And am so concerned is because Grenada, this present administration had depended wholly and solely on the sales of passport to really run the country. And in my opinion, I don't see there is any revenue that they are trying to dig deep for in order to rescue that economy. So they solely depend on the citizens by investment. We are not hearing nothing on the air. We are not hearing a conference. We are not hearing no talk to the people. What effect that tariff will take upon Grenada? I mean, I'm thinking about Grenada. When we hear other Caribbean islands are speaking out. But the question I need to leave with you, Senior, that you can be able to emphasize based on your intelligence, what effect do you think that the tariffs that had been passed by Donald Trump to different countries, do you believe that it will take any effect on the economy of Grenada and its people? I'll listen offline, sir. Thank you.
Yes, well, obviously, if you were able to export things to the United States without tariff, your goods will be cheaper in the United States. So obviously you'd have a negative effect on us. But I believe there is also opportunities for Grenada and the Caribbean. You have to understand that Donald Trump is saying, if you put tariff on me, I'm going to put tariff on you. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
What's going on, man?
Great, man. Good.
I don't hear you talk about that new police station that the government giving the people, man. You don't talk about that at all. Next thing, you never talk about
Yes, caller, go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to. I was listening to a program sometime last week in 2018. Kit Mitchell said he was going to give Grenada a new police station. I wanted to comment about that because you said the Prime Minister say now you will be getting a new police station and you saying it can make no sense. So why? So what's the difference between 2018?
Caller, did I say it doesn't make sense? Caller, did I say a police station doesn't make sense?
No, I would like you to answer.
Caller.
Because, you know what I mean?
Caller.
Talk about kids.
Caller.
Hold on, brother.
You're making a false statement. So I'll give you an opportunity to correct it.
I sneak over here and another station. So what's the difference? You know what I mean? You gotta be real, man. Come on, Papa. You gotta be real. You can't be for one side. And that's sad, man.
Thank you, caller. You see, we always have to get it right. And that's important. I'm a man who believe in speaking the truth. And if I say something that is wrong, you correct me. And the same thing if your tongue slip. Let me correct you. That if you don't take correction, I'll just ignore you. You only hear me wasting time when government do repair work on police station. That is wasting time. You have too much important things to study. Government fix some police station. The Grenada police have been doing exceptionally good work. And this government is practically interrupting the work they're doing. You have a caller on the line? Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, caller.
Government go, government come. Government, what the other government does do, the other one come, you have to do it. The police station, the hospital, one medical. That's what we have to talk about. We don't have good health care in the country. This is the thing we have to talk about. We're not talking about if ever we have to build police station. If ever they build police station or they repair police station, we don't have a problem with that. Government go, government come, government pick up where the other government left out. This is what we have to do. And Mr. Pierre, this is the thing. I listen in Boucher, the government say who you are, and then you get things. So the agriculture man is a NMP, that is why they take water. He's not a NDC. So you don't get his water because he's not a NMP. That is what's going on in society now. You have to be a NDC to get what government has today. We don't talk about police station. We have the police station, if ever the police station there, but we don't have a good health care. You go in the hospital, up to now I go and do my test, and then get my do. I go to the judges and do it. This is the thing that we have to talk about.
Yes, scholar. Thank you.
While we carry you have to cut.
No, you don't cut enough people. Thank you. Yes, scholar, welcome. Welcome, caller. I always put a lot of emphasis on policies of our government. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yeah.
That moron would call you.
No.
Fools make money and wise men spin it.
Not a moron.
This Mr. his way of life, which they make inconvenient that he cannot feed his family. Moron, that's the brother you need to reach out to. That's the brother you need to look at and what is happening around your brother. But you're calling and you're making all kind of... I don't think that guy have sense. I think most of the time this guy is talking with his butt. Excuse me, Mr. Pierre. Anyway, one love.
Yeah, you see, we have to have a high level of tolerance in this country. And I know it's hard, I know it's difficult. When a prime minister going to call and say, identify who the real NDC is, and that is the only reason other sides getting assistance. I understand. That's going to provoke people to behave like the prime minister and several of the ministers of government. But that is the danger. We have to try to say no. If they are helping to fracture the country, we can support it. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre. How
Yes.
do you do, sir? I have a complaint in regards to Excellent Farm in Montrose.
Yeah.
I have some cousins that have been working there now, and they're complaining over 3 weeks. Telesford and his representatives haven't been paying them. So I'm calling on Mr. Philip A. Telesford. Can you please pay those workers their dues for their hard work, please? Because they have bills to pay and they have families to take care of. Thank you, sir.
Yes, scholar. When the government intended to change the the method of payment in the country from 1 month, paying at the end of the month, to everybody being paid fortnightly, some people complain that could cause trouble. And it could cause problem for business if you have cash flow problem. Because business was paying by the month and they expect to be paid by the week. And if they're giving out goods to businessmen, they might be still getting paid by the month. Yes, caller, welcome.
Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
We have to be sorry for Mr. Telesford because it's alleged that his electricity is cut off.
We're not here already.
Say, it is sad. We have to be sorry for Mr. Philip Telesford because I understand it's alleged that his electricity is cut off. So you won't be able to sell chicken or to distribute chicken in with a good temperature for the people in the country. So we have to sympathize with him because you don't hear the government doing anything to assist anybody, and they turn on their own now. So I'm really sorry for Mr. Telesford. Have a good evening.
Yes, and people have to understand that a number of factors is having a negative impact on businessmen. Some business, because of the method of payment now, every fortnight, you had raise increases. If you observe closely, some businesses have curtailed on the staff. And particularly in agriculture, it is tough. Very easy for somebody to stay on the outside and complain. If you have to pay by the weekly or by the fortnight, and you have serious cash flow problem, then you have to have some kind of money reasoning and accommodation with the workers. When you have these farms and it's you and your family that are doing it, it's totally different when you employ a staff. So my heart goes out to that farm, because I believe that is a time the infrastructure is set for takeoff. Remember, government raised the price of water. The price of electricity raised. So it's even harder for small businesses. Yes, Scholar, welcome.
Yeah, after Mr. Pierre, how are you working?
Great, man.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre, I can never stop talking about that. It's statement that the Prime Minister
sometimes
made
you start up low.
At the rally in Bushejo, when he said to the people there, the reason why some of the NMP getting work because they didn't know the real NDC. Mr. Pitt, this is a backward statement.
But that is the policy of the NDC.
And that's the policy.
That's why I've been objecting against restorative justice.
Right? I will continue to say that is the restorative justice. I'm saying you do something, but by somehow what you're doing, you have to speak about it. Confession is good for the soul. So the Prime Minister has to come and confess and let the people of Grenada and Peter Martin know what they are doing. Right? You know, because sometimes in life you have people that are supporting you. But then what they're saying is not the truth. But when you have a minister, a cabinet, make that as a philosophy and a policy of running a country, that is very, very bad for the people of Grenada and Peter Martin. Mr. Pay, in your own home, your wife may support NMP, you support NDC, and you walk in, your children may support NMP. Because you will support NDC, what they're saying, send home her, don't give her no work. Because they say 2 hands is better than one. Mr. Pay, this is a backward statement. And I always say, I want the people of Grenada and Peter Martin, the undecided voters, always remember the statement, what the Prime Minister said. Because what he said is not something to take lightly. It's something to take seriously. Because your vote is important, because you vote and you make the government, put the government in governance. But they don't care about it. They consider you as not real NDC. So there is nothing for you. Nothing for you. You have your children to go to school. The farmers crying, school children crying, because they also make a policy that free thing for everybody. While the previous government said they needed people who need the children to get the money to go to school. They give them the bus allowance, uniform, the books, so they could go to school. But this policy of this government now, give them free things for school, but they don't have the money to go to school. So it comes down like they're taking away from the poor man, the poor people that need it, to get it to the rich man who could able to send the children to school. I would say to the people of Grenada and Peter Martin, this government, especially poor people, don't care, and they don't care about nobody that's accepting. They only care about a friend and those who associate with Grenadian people. Look and analyze what is going on in the country. This government, they don't care about you, the poor people. So come next election, support the NMP government, because the NMP government is an inclusive government, a government that cares, and a government that we love, and make sure the cake we share for everyone will get a portion of that cake. So pay, have a blessing.
Yeah, but NMP mustn't sit down and wait and believe because the government doing shoot means people go support them. NMP has to go outside in the field and do their work. And that's why sometimes I say to people, government change because of politics, not because of work. The NDC never accustomed working hard. They always sit down and plan lies and have a good propaganda machine. And that has got them into government on 3 occasions. And when they reach in government, the people revolt against their policies. Yes, caller, welcome.
Senior, if the information that we're getting as it's really to excellent form is true, it's really sad. And that is evidence to prove that I stand still. I mean, excellent form is one of the best form on the island. And basically produced thousands of bots. And the person that owned excellent form is Mr. Telefone, is a minister. Did that have to reach that far if the information that I am picking up is right? I mean, this present administration could not see fit to understand that that is a farm, a chicken poultry farm that really supply Grenada. And they do a relatively good job. I mean, something could not have been done to prevent, I mean, that sort of disgrace. That is to show you the businesses are crying out.
It's a hard time, it's difficult. A lot of businessmen wouldn't say anything, but it's a hard time for business now.
Yeah.
The government raised the government cause. This government contributed to the increase in cost of living. And when you raise the price of sugar, water, and electricity.
You raise the price of water. I mean, come on. I mean, and the whole thing about I'm saying again, does his own government care to know there are dozens of people? Here the gentleman said the work they get paid, but something is not right. That if they have to cut out the electricity from excellent farm, I mean, come on, it should not get that far. And the leadership of the island, the country Grenada, supposed to know that Mr. Telesford employed dozens of people. He employs a lot of people. And when he reached to that stage, the thing is real bad. It's bad.
But I'm not surprised, you know. Advocacy is the worst thing for agriculture in the country. It's not wrong. You just have to go back and watch NDC history where agriculture is concerned. Every time they come in poor, agriculture is worse.
I mean, that is your own. I mean, that's an MP. To be honest, I mean, Mr. Telesford, from the bottom of my heart, I mean, to be honest, I felt it for you, bro.
Every agriculture
I really felt it for you, man.
Yeah.
Take your senior, man.
Yeah. You see, this government is not a good government for agriculture. I've said that on many occasions and they can't defend that. The worst thing that could happen to agriculture is NDC. They came into office, they raised the price of sugar, water, and electricity. Automatically, they raised the price of everything in the country. Yes, caller, welcome. Caller, punch.
The government can pay for money and put it in private affairs.
You speaking to me when you call me, we hardly hearing you. And if we're not hearing you, the public don't hear you. Put the phone in your mouth and speak lower. I don't know if it's a rule or where you are. So let me hear what you say now.
I say, that is the worst thing go. Take the whole
Yes. So, callers, please try and keep the phone near to your mouth. I don't know if it's the internet where you are. Because if we cannot hear you and we have things in our ears, then it might be difficult for the public to hear you. Yes, caller, welcome. Go ahead, caller, welcome. When the government raised the price of electricity, they raised the price of water, and they raised the price of sugar, they practically raised everything in the country. And the government has been, the NDC have always been hostile towards agriculture. And then they raise minimum wage. And the percentage they raise it by, don't expect any businessman to complain. Because people are going to say, you don't want to give them money. And the Grenadian public is so hostile towards businessmen. They say they're mean, they're wicked, they're greedy, they're not helping nobody. They wish they fail. Yes, caller, welcome. We're having some challenges this morning. Caller. Caller, you calling and you're there.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, go right ahead.
You hearing me?
You listen to the device on the radio? Don't listen to your device. Listen to us on your phone. Turn on the speaker on your phone and listen to us on the phone. We have a delayed broadcast.
Are you hearing me now?
Yeah.
Why are you guys so hypocrite? You and so-called Pastor Lewis. What Mr. Telesford farm has to do with you guys? If the government went ahead and helped him, you guys were the same one who were going to criticize the government for helping him. So what's the concern? He never asked you guys to be sorry for him. Why are you concerned about it? Leave it alone.
Caller, any agriculture project that is in trouble today, all of us concerned. And it doesn't matter if it's the Prime Minister of Grenada that have an agriculture project. We don't want it to be in trouble. At this time in Grenada, when you're facing additional tariff or taxes on import, you don't want your poultry industry to fail. We have been bawling for government to subsidize feed. We have been making noise and say government must come in and subsidize feed. Government get $118 million from the CRIP program, the insurance program for agriculture, and they have not spent it on agriculture. Yes, caller, welcome. They have not, caller, you there? They have not spent it on agriculture. Yes, caller.
Yes, Mr. Pierre.
You can't listen to your radio otherwise. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
That man that talking. You listening to me?
Yeah, go ahead.
That man that talking there, he's very ignorant and arrogant. I mean, he just talking stupid. He's a farmer. I don't believe it. But to me, like, he don't have a land or nothing. I don't know what kind of person he is. Like, I don't know how to style him. Because, I mean, if the people sorry for the man, you're asking why they're so sorry for him. And he then talking stupidness. What kind of person he is? He have children, I wonder? I mean, come on, man. Talk with sense if you're talking something, man. Come on, do better than that.
Right, caller.
He's a foolish man.
Thank you. That is what Deacon policy of restorative justice does. That is what Deacon policy, when he say identify the real NDC because NNP getting help, that is what the policy does. People believe you mustn't be sympathetic to people who perceive to be NDC. We can't run a country so. And that is why I've been so critical of Deacon rather than talking about the police station. That is minor. These policies going to fracture our country. Irreparable fracture. That's why we have to speak about it. So let me go back to the original point we were speaking. Women of Grenada. Women of Grenada, weep for your children, particularly your boys. And we were in a position speaking about your age. Between 9, 10, 13, 16, most women end up reaching the stage where the normal physiological phenomenon take place. The bodies develop and they become mature young women. At the age of 16, legally, they can give consent to be involved in sexual activities. And I believe that there is not enough information shared with these young people about sexually transmitted disease, syphilis, gonorrhea, chlamydia, trichomoniasis, herpes simplex, and hepatitis. These are sexually transmitted disease. And children between the age of particularly when they get sexually active, their parents should educate them about it. The Ministry of Health should have pamphlets, leaflets, information sheets, providing it to make it more accessible to parents. In the same way, you go into some places and you pick up a religious tract, you should be able to go to the medical station and pick up a tract with the names of these diseases. It might have created more awareness to our young people that involve in sexual activities. No matter what you say, they go involved. Hormones jumping up in their body. The environment is conducive. They go to involve in sexual activities. But you want them to be more knowledgeable. They must know over 40% of people by the time they reach 40 years are infected with herpes simplex. They must know about syphilis and gonorrhea, chlamydia, trichomoniasis, and other sexual transmitted disease, including hepatitis. They must know the medium, the via by which they can contact diseases. Primary health care and preventative health care must be more important in our country. And I have to call on women of Grenada. You have to seek the interest. You, the women, you all know about it. So educate the younger ones. You meet too much of young people who reach the age where they qualify to be active in sexual encounters, not very knowledgeable about sexually transmitted disease. We must speak about that. These topics, you can't afraid to talk about it. It's like taboo on the radio. Even when you have programs where one among the big woman is, they're afraid to provide information to the younger ones about sexually transmitted disease. Parents know these children ready to pick cotton. They dress them as how those hookers on 42nd Street, young street dress. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
A very interesting program. Just to add a 2 cents, the laws that depicts a child from an adult, and also some of the do's and don'ts and restrictions that are related to it. Now, with respect to a 16-year-old I just spoke of, can give consent from the age of 16. I already can be consensual to sex. Also, I know a lot of people may not be aware that the laws of the land from time immemorial still comes in and say that a 13-year-old boy is deemed incapable of committing rape. I don't know if you're aware of this.
Yes. You know, underage.
Right. So there it is. I mean, you and I know today, seeing a 13-year-old boy or most 13-year-old boys, you can simply say something as, is that a big man or is that a child?
Well, but you can look at it. 13, 14-year-olds, some of them learn 1 month of time.
Right. And then some others I could go on with, but I don't want to come saying it here because...
we have to have a program when we speak about this thing.
Yes, yes. So I am just saying, I think it's about time that the laws really and truly be amended with these things. They take a look into society and see how the youth has progressed, how they are treating, and really make some changes. Some changes need to be made towards the laws. Because as you said, well, 20 years ago, a 13-year-old boy development compared to a 13-year-old boy development presently in 2025 is a whole total difference.
But we have schoolboys that underage that beat some teachers. You know one or two instances, not much, but one or two instances where boy 14 years old and he make a child violent in school.
Yeah, well.
But an elderly person.
Yeah.
And I am a man who believes in making children, so I don't have no issue with it. But what I'm saying is, we have to educate the children about sexually transmitted disease.
Yeah, I quite agree.
Because them parents, how they dress the children alone, they're dressing them to go and have sex.
Yeah, well.
They forget half the clothes home.
And I think, in school, the curriculum of sex education needs to be pushed more. Just like you said, today, the prevalence of sexually transmitted disease is way, I would say, maybe more.
And it's high in Grenada.
Yes, and most persons are not even aware that they have certain sexually transmitted disease. Like most folks will tell you, it's easy for a man to know.
2 days a man get to know.
He has claps.
Yeah, the claps, balance.
A woman who has it, she can be going along with it and passing it on to persons like a really bad son.
And she don't know.
Aware. And she don't know.
And somebody man will tell her.
That's something for you.
Somebody man buy tablets and bring it back to June tattoo.
Well, of course.
Until she reinfect him again, she don't care.
Yeah, I understand. So I mean, it's a very interesting program, and like I said, at the end of the day, I think as you say, these topics really need to be discussed time and time again because it's a serious concern. And what I've heard, I'm not a medical doctor, that some of these sexually transmitted disease can move from one stage to a next, and so on, if not treated properly and all of this stuff. So thanks for the time.
Yes, my brother. And we definitely have to prepare to some of the women themselves, they playing at the equal and the liberal, but they afraid the topic. So we men you cannot have young children in secondary school, 13, 14 years. Since you watch the children, you know they're big already. You're dressing them and you're making them leave half their clothes home. But yet you're not educating them about sexually transmitted disease. Something have to be wrong with us. You have syphilis, you have herpes simplex, you have HIV. There is no cure for no virus disease, including common cold. Yes, scholar, welcome. No treatment.
Good afternoon, Mr. P.
Yes, my brother.
Nice. I saw always, you the man always advocate for music in school, drumming, everything, right?
Yeah.
And I was listening to a drummer. He went in Jamaica and studied music and drumming and Andre program. And I think it's then that whole day, the drum corps, the drum thing in Grenada. Sometime last week, right? Some drum thing, right? And the man was saying that if a lot of secondary school in Grenada who can't afford to buy drums, and the government is a sponsor, So the government is a sponsor at the drum corps. We're begging our business people, everybody, to put together to bring the drum in thing because you go help them young children, the mind, the brain. Same thing you talk about, you help uplift them. Right? And look, and the thing was free. Free, Mr. Pierre. First prize, $3,000, second prize, $2,000, third prize, and everybody that come in, they make it right there. They have $1,000. And he's saying $1,000 could get them two more drums, eh? So I call in and Deacon Miss Mitchell to spend $1 million and get drum for all them schools in Grenada, all school Deacon. Spend again $1 million and get all them school drums so we could help with young children brain. Right?
Yes, scholar.
Yeah, I know you're a man always advocate for that in school.
Yeah.
So I would like you to give us some thoughts.
Thank you, caller. And that was our last caller. But we say we can change things in this country. We could make a difference. Every time we speak about education, our teachers get vexed. The teachers know that over 200 years now, the expert tell you if you do music in school, children would learn better in maths, in art, etc. The government want to build a new prison. You don't need new prison. What we need to do is to reduce the amount of people that going in prison. And we could do that in 5, 10, 15 years. We don't need a new hospital. What we need to do is to improve preventative health and primary health care. We could do that by making certain St. Patrick's here where we Sotes, La Sote, and Grove St. John have medical doctors 24/7. The supplies are available. The medication is available. We could expand Princess Alice Hospital and build another 20, 30 bedrooms, a bed, how you call it, with the necessary auxiliary support. There are places in St. George's where we could add on, where Duncan Ward was, and where the psychiatric unit is, or was. You could expand 2, 3 stories there. There is no need for us to squander $500 million when we can buy drugs, when we can pay doctor. We started to try to make St. Patrick's have doctors 24/7. This vulture government cut it out. How that is possible? Now you want to lie for people, tell them you're building new hospital. It's going to take more than 10 years minimum and over 500 million to build a new hospital and partially fund it or put the necessary paraphernalias and features inside it. Why are we tricking our people? Deacon Amos Mitchell makes certain that you have medical doctors, medical supply, supportive staff in St. Patrick's and St. John. So we have a medical service 24/7. What that going to do? That's going to remove the congestion, the traffic, relieve the pressure on St. George's Hospital, and then you could bring in more specialists, doctors in St. George's. There is absolutely no need for a new medical facility in Grenada. 110,000 people we have. Add on to Maribo, you have the land. Deacon Amos Mitchell, don't trick with people. I want to get a road on the Damascus Road. I want to salvage some dignity, some decency in the Prime Minister of Grenada. He is the worst Prime Minister we have. But I believe you could get better. St. Paul was a bad man. Not St. Paul, Saul. And they changed him to Paul. So I believe we could rebaptize you in politics and move from the most lying politician we have. You might even turn a good politician. And I want to appeal to the women of Grenada. Now is the Lenten period. Take the advice from Jesus Christ. Put attention on your children, particularly your boys. And I want to thank all those who participate with us on this program today. You know we only provoke discussion. So we want to discuss these issues, all the topics here. And we welcome and highly appreciate all those who call. Call tomorrow. But don't listen to your voice when you call. Don't listen to the gadget when you call, because we have a delayed broadcast. And try to speak clear and loud. Thank you very much. Yeah. We're going to, as we warm up, we forget to tell you, share. Like our program, share our program, and subscribe to our program. And talk to your children, talk to your neighbor about Real FM. Because any issue, we discuss it on Real FM, and we give people an opportunity to exchange ideas and to interact on our program. Thank you very much.
By nature's plan, it's so beautiful to see. Really? Spice Island of the West. Lovely. And in the West Indies, I say Grenada, please. Overwhelmingly glad we are to be of our country.